Hi everyone, welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Narbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So what I love to do on these episodes every Tuesday at noon is I'll pop on and show you a little project or something that I've been working on. And I have all the measurements and the supplies listed in the description on the video, so you can always come back and recreate the project with me later, or if you'd like, you can follow along as we go today as well. So the project that I have for you is one of probably my favorite bundles right now. It is called the Earthen Textures Bundle, and I did a video a couple weeks ago with a project that I can refresh your memory of later as well. I'll show that to you at the end, along with a few other samples that I've been playing with, but I just find this bundle so peaceful and calming, and it's kind of been really perfect for me to refresh all my thank you cards with it, because it's just a very generic, kind of gender neutral bundle that I can just simply play with colors and kind of make them a little tailored to who I want to give it to, but it's also just a very unassuming bundle that I have had a lot of fun with. So this project here, I wanted to show you how to create it. So I'm just going to first highlight the fact that I've used the Earthen Textures stamp set and mostly just the sentiment from this stamp along with some of the dies. So I've cut my little pot out with this smaller pot die. There is a little branch, I guess, of leaves. You've got some grass and you've got a really large palm frond as well. So I've cut all of those pieces now ahead of time so that you get to just kind of watch me put my little package together. So to start, I have for myself a piece of copper clay cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 11. And I see I have forgotten to put a score line down the middle at 5 1/2. So I don't have to go jump and grab it. I'm just gonna cheat and fold this up super nicely with my bone folder. It will be great. If you have your scoreboard handy, this is the 5 1/2 mark and you'll get a nice crisp image. Now on the inside of my cards, I always like to put something to write on. So I have a piece of Berry Vanilla. This is 4 1/4, no, just 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put that onto the inside of my card using a flat adhesive. So I like my double-sided tape, but there's also seal or glue, whatever you prefer. So we're going to put these inside. And you could always add like a little jar or some of those plants with a stamped image inside here. Completely up to you. So for the front of our card now, I have cut myself a piece of the Earthen Elegance Designer Series paper. Now this one I really liked because it's got a lot of gradient to it. It's also got a spackle look to it, and I didn't have to do any of those techniques. They were just all there right on that cardstock. On the other side, oh, you can see I had to make this one out of 2 scraps because I think I accidentally chopped it and then realized I liked it better in the long version, but you can't tell, so shh. Okay, anyways, so this guy here, before I add it to the card, I wanted to give it a little bit of life. So I'm going to take my scissors and do a bit of distressing. So we just open our scissors up, and then along all of the edges, you just gently rub until you get kind of a rough border, something different, something that's not kind of the nice straight edge. So that's good for me. You can always keep going if you want more. And don't worry if it gets a little bent or nicked, because it just gives it some character. Sometimes I purposely roll some of the edges. And you're just going all the way around with these scissors to to try and rough up all those edge pieces. There. So once you're happy and you've kind of roughed it up, you will have made a bit of a mess, so brush that off. Then you can pop this piece up on dimensionals on the front of the card. And this one was the exact same measurement as our white. It's 4 by 5 1/4. So putting dimensionals on the back of this guy will help it to stand up. And I'm also putting a few in the middle because we're putting quite a bit of weight in that center part, and the designer paper is not as strong as a piece of cardstock is. There we go. This little piece of designer paper should just have the tiniest of borders all the way around. You should be able to see that copper clay really clearly on all of the sides. Now to begin decorating. Okay, so the first thing that I've cut out also from that same designer series paper is this funny looking shape. And you're wondering, hey, where did that like random diamond square thing come from? It is from the Nested Essentials dies. So there's these nice curved rectangles, these cute banners, and these fun little shapes. I used the second largest one, this guy right here, to cut out the shape for my card today, but you can modify it and do whatever you'd like as well. But these guys, they give a really cute little stitched look along the edge that I really like. So we're gonna pop this piece up on dimensionals in a minute, but here's one thing that you can add if you have it and if you want it. This fun little ribbon. Okay, so if you don't have the ribbon, it's okay. You can always just leave this part off. But this is our linen wavy, what is it called? Wavy Trim linen thread. And this comes like fully formed in these cute little circles, and it's really, really easy to apply. So the easiest way for you to do this is to take a piece of double-sided tape and spread it all the way across your card. And then we're going to attach the end of your wavy thread all along this line. It should go nice and straight. And then you just snip right at the edge of your page. Now I decided to do 3 rows of this because I thought it did look really pretty with one, but it definitely added to the card when I put multiples. So I'm just going to do the same thing again. I've put a piece of tape and I'm putting this right on top. The exact same thickness of the tape, so it works really nicely for this technique. And then last but not least, because it does look better with 3, we're going to add that last layer. There we go. Okay, once this is on, if you've decided to do this part, then you can work on attaching your fun little shape. So because the linen thread is so thick, you just want to make sure you're not putting a dimensional behind the shape where it'll sit on the linen thread. So put dimensionals behind the top section and maybe a couple in the bottom. So I'll just show you here. Let's just say this is the top of my shape. So I would like lots of dimensionals in this space, but nothing that's going to go over top of where those linen threads are sitting. So I'll put the last 2 just in the bottom. Down here. And this open space is going to go right over top of the linen thread. Otherwise you get like this weird lopsided look, and nobody wants that. Okay, so I've decided to put this along the left-hand side. If you want, you can also rough up the bottom of this piece, and that will make it look identical to the paper that it's sitting on. But I only did it on the one bottom part. I didn't go all the way around the shape. So that's an option for you. And it'll rest right along the bottom of your designer series paper, right here. Now to decorate, completely up to you what pieces you cut, but I decided to use the designer series paper again. Oh, hello, somebody loves me. Turn that off. There we go. Somebody got to turn her ringer off. Okay, so this is another piece of that designer series paper that I've cut using the tiny jar die. And then I've used copper clay for my large leaf, early espresso for this one. And then there's a distressed gold that's not part of this designer package, but it does complement this suite very, very nicely. It comes in 2 sheets of 6x6, and you can get so much out of it. So that's what I chose for my little scheme here. So I'm going to start with the jar, and we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. And then we'll tuck all of the other things just behind it. So popping those up on dimensionals so it's nice and sturdy. And this guy goes right kind of in the middle of this section here. Now to attach these 3 pieces, don't feel like you have to use a bunch of adhesive. The only thing I'd suggest is do put a couple dimensionals underneath this leaf in the part that's sitting on the blue. So you can kind of just imagine where it's going to be, put a couple dimensionals on that side. You don't want anything under the leaf that's hanging off. And then because this is so long of a stem, you're not seeing all of that. Go ahead and just trim it off. It'll make your life so much easier, and you don't have to worry about moving it around dimensionals in the pot. Okay, so I put this one on first, so it's kind of got the most amount of focus. And then this little guy, the easiest way to do anything with these is just a dot of glue on the bottom of the stem. And you don't need to worry about putting any adhesive on the rest of it. Trim off that stem again and just tuck this in place. So that kind of makes sure that that branch just comes to life still. It's not all flat and boring. And then last but not least, we've got our grass. I'm just going to trim off a little bit because I want to tuck it in, so I'm just kind of seeing the tops. Tiny bit of glue on the bottom. Putting that in place here in the middle. There. So that's really fun. And then we're going to add a little sentiment. I'm noticing that the piece I cut for my sentiment has run away. It has grown legs, so give me a second. I need to cut a new piece with Berry Vanilla. And this piece is going to be a 1/2 inch wide by 3 inches long, or whatever this scrap is. There we go. And I'm just quickly doing that. So there we go. Beautiful. It's like I had it all along. Okay, so I like to stamp my sentiment first. I picked the thank you from the coordinating stamp set and bundle that we're using. And then I decided I was going to match the paper for my shape. So I've got Misty Moonlight ready to go. That guy, we're going to open up and then just gently tap, 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 because it's very juicy. You can see how juicy that is. Close that so we don't get inked. And stamp right in the middle here. There. Now to get this fun little look, all we need to do is grab our trusty scissors, and we're going to cut just at a little diagonal behind that last letter. And then whatever way you cut, you're going to do the exact same direction and go there. Now this one can be also popped up on dimensionals, but keep in mind you have something that's really tall over here and then a short layer. So to make your life easy, you probably just want to put your dimensionals right on your page and then put the sentiment on top. And if you're worried, like if this is sticking up, you can always add just a little dot of glue in behind here, and then it'll kind of stick down for you. So hold that for a second. There. And then if you wanted to dress this card up, you definitely could. We have some really nice neutral sequins. They come in the like bronze and gold, and there are 2 other colors, but I think I'm all out of them. So that's okay. You can always just grab what you have handy and just add a couple of those to your card if you want to spice it up a little bit. So I'll try the brown on this one. See which one you like better. Oh, hopefully you like that card. As I promised, I will show you a couple other ideas. So I'll leave this one out. And this was a card that I did at my July monthly card class, and I also did a video for it in the middle of July. So you can always just go back and look through my Show Me How It's Done inventory. I have over, I want to say over 130 or 140 videos now. So I hope there's something in there that you like. So that one has a full out video. These ones don't have a video, but they're kind of still a fun idea. And hopefully you can kind of imagine with me that, okay, yeah, she did the same edging on here. I only did 1 strip of the little twine. And then I took that same die, but I rotated it and just chopped off the ends because it was a little too long. So it's just an idea for you. And that one doesn't have video, and neither does this one, but you can always just take screenshots and replicate them if you like them. So yeah, just put them all out for you. See them. Maybe one of them gets booted every time. Put you down here. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would really appreciate if you just click that like button and maybe subscribe to my channel as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday at noon for another edition of Show Me How It's Done. Bye!